Hi, welcome to Such and Study Tech. Today topic is identifier. Next token, identifier. So what is meant by identifier? So what is the rules of identifier? An identifier in Java is the name used to uniquely identify variables, methods, classes and other elements in your code. So these are the rules. So any identifier can starts with letter, that may be a uppercase or lowercase, underscore also, and also dollar sign. So these are the special character, underscore and dollar you can use as an identifier. You can start with like underscore, right here it is total, this is a valid. Okay, right here it is for example here amount, dollar amount, this is also a valid identifier, right? So uh, cannot contain space or special symbols like at the rate, has or minus, right? For example here you can see average minus temperature, you cannot used. So this symbol, it is not a valid identifier. Right here also average temp, average temp, this is also not a valid identifier because here the space is there. Okay, cannot contain any space or a special symbol like here, any special symbols. Okay, and also here it is also a not a valid identifier. For example at the rate a, it is not a valid identifier. And cannot starts with a number, right? For example here for example number, number 8, so this is a valid identifier. For example here it is 7 number, it is not a valid identifier because it cannot starts with a digit, it can starts with the letters, that letter may be uppercase or lowercase or underscore or sign. So those are valid identifier. And cannot use Java reserved keywords. Okay, any keyword, you know already in previous video you can discuss, we are discuss about like a keyword, any reserved word you cannot use it as an identifier, right? So class is a keyword, right? For example for is a keyword, you cannot use it as an identifier, you cannot use it here, it is a int is a keyword, you cannot use it as an identifier. Right, names are case sensitive. For example here total price, total is different, here this total is different. Okay, these are case sensitive, right? You can see these are the case sensitive. So these are the rules of identifier. If we can declare, if we can create any variable or method or classes, you can use it as a identifier. These are the rules. Okay, now we can see the simple program, then you can understand. Here you can see already I discussed. Now you can see here it is, for example int do equal to 20, just you can give that. So you can see what is the value of do, what is the value of do. Now you can save this program, now you can compile this, you can compile this program. Now you can see the error, illegal start of expression, right? So because here do is a, here you can see syntax error on the token, do is a token, right? Here it is a do is a keyword, right? Any do can, any keyword cannot use it as an identifier, that's why that is the error. Okay, so that is the error. Now you can discuss, right? For example you can take the, like here it is a total, I'm consider here it is total, for example 35. So is it a valid keyword or not? Now you can see. So underscore like a total, underscore total. So what is the output? Now you can see, is it a valid keyword or not? First you can check, you can compile this program. Okay, there is no error. Then so you can see the output here. So underscore here, here it is a valid keyword, right? Valid identifier, right? So I am using here, it is a dollar. Okay, so dollar, is it a valid identifier or not? You can check. Okay, so in this case just you have to check Next you can compile. So there is no error, then you can run. So here it is valid identifier. Now I am given here it is a at the rate total. Is it a valid one or not? Valid. Now you can check. You can compile this. Okay. So it is a error. So for example, I am starting with any digit here. For example, here 6 total. Is it a valid identifier? Just you have to check. Now you can compile this. Okay, here it is error, right? Any identifier starts with a letter, not a digit, right? Now, for example, average number, I am consider this one. For example, here it is average number. Is it a valid identifier or not? You can check. You know already rules. Then have to check average number. The blank space is there, so it is not a valid identifier. Here you can see the error, syntax error. Insert complete blocks block statement Java. Here average. Here this is the error. Now you can remove this. Okay, it is a valid identifier. Now you can check. Here it is a valid identifier. Now you can compile this the program. You can run this program. Okay. Now for example, I am using average minus number. Is it a valid identifier or not? Just you can compile. So it is not a valid identifier. Okay. Right. Have to variable name here average minus number. It is not a valid identifier, right? So for example, here I am using exclamatory here. For example, is it a valid identifier? Now you can see what is the special symbols is supported in identifiers in Java. Now we can check, is it a valid? So it is not a valid, right? We have only underscore and dollar you can use. For example, here you can use underscore. Is it a valid? Just you have to check. Java compiler, there is no error. Just you can run that. Okay, so here you can use the dollar. So anywhere you can use dollar and underscore in between the variable name or starting or ending. So no problem here. It is a valid identifier. Now we can see. So there is no error. So it is a valid identifier, right? So for example, here what is the meaning of that? Here average, for example, here I am consider number. This number is different. This number here you can see num. So for example, here it is a for example 56. Just you can print that number num. What is the value here? Both are number, but here it is a case sensitive. Just you have to compile. Okay, there is no error. Then you can run that. Just you can see 35. So this 35 is num. So here it is a case sensitive. For example, just this comment here it is. Now just you can print that num, or just you can ignore this statement here. Now you can save this. Now you can check, you can compile. So here cannot find the symbol, so num. But here you can declare the num, but here you can use the capital N. So num cannot be resolved to a variable, right? Here that is the So case sensitive. So Java is a case sensitive. So what are the valid or invalid keywords? Okay. Now we can see what are the valid or invalid keywords, right? So you can understand what is the valid keyword or what are the invalid keyword, right, based on these rules. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. Later you can discuss more videos about tokens in Java.